At a secondary round that is going to be very strong, especially for the county's eastern half as we get your Thursday going. But right now we're looking at much calmer conditions, especially in comparison to what we've been experiencing over the past 48 hours. We're still looking at those winds coming out of the northeast, so we still have those Santa Ana conditions drying things out as they descend down the mountains. We're at 16 miles per hour in terms of gusts for Julian as well as Mount Laguna. We're looking at speeds near about 10 or so in Alpine, Descanso, as well as Harvesting Canyon. Taking a look at the wind gust futurecast now, I'm going to fast forward this and pause it to around 3:30 this afternoon, and you can see that secondary round of Santa Ana winds. They take over the region. They're a little more localized this time around towards the mountain and desert communities. However, we do still have some strong winds that will target our coastal communities, mainly in the North County, north of Oceanside, and right in between the Riverside-San Diego County border along the 15. So that's something to keep in mind. And this all pairs with the low humidity levels. I'm going to fast forward the futurecast around that same time, and we can see those numbers down to the single digits. So those winds are going to be coinciding with those very low humidity levels, and that's the reason why we're looking at high fire danger during that period this afternoon, lasting all the way through early tomorrow. Now, this is released by the U.S. Forest Service. National Weather Service does not put this out. So they look at all of the conditions, surrounding conditions in all of these regions, all of these counties, and then they assess which level they should be at as far as the high risk goes. Yesterday, some areas were under that high extreme level, and you could see that we are downgraded to a moderate level. That's not to say that you shouldn't remain cautious, because we're still looking at elevated fire danger due to the combination of all of those factors: temperatures, wind speeds, as well as humidity levels. So here's what you need to know as we get going towards the end of the week into the weekend. Today, winds intensify, especially towards the noon hour. Friday, the winds will be strongest in the morning, and then they'll subside towards the afternoon, decreasing significantly down to the teens, which is good. That's what we want. And then on Saturday, we'll have the shift in winds. Onshore winds return, so winds out of the west, meaning winds from the ocean that carry a little more moisture, and that will just be beneficial for everyone. But that won't happen until the weekend, so we have a couple more days of these, again, elevated winds, along with the dry conditions that we have to deal with. Inland areas will be in the 70s up until Friday. We drop down to a couple of degrees on Saturday. I don't have too much change, but notice how today is actually going to be the warmest day of our 7-day outlook, and then temperatures will start to drop for the coast and inland valleys. For the mountain areas, we'll be in the 50s. Overnight lows will be very cold, near freezing in some cases, especially this weekend, and that is due to, again, those winds kind of simmering down, especially near the foothill and mountain communities. Desert highs will be in the low 70s this afternoon. We drop down to the 60s one day, and then we're back into the 70s by the top of the weekend. All right, it is 5:52. This is another live look outside on the 94 west towards the 805 connector. Some slowing as you make your way through Golden Hill into downtown San Diego, but nothing significant. I'm not tracking any major crashes nor delays. We're at full freeway speeds as you make your way up the summit in from Santee. A little bit of brake tapping at the top of the summit, but then it flushes out once you get down towards Tierra Santa. On the 5 and the 805 in from National City and Chula Vista, you're looking at full freeway speeds, and under 10 right now on the 52 and the 94.